What's going on, believers? Guys, the first thing we need to do today is attack the elephant in the room and address the situation. No matter how much was tried, no matter how much effort was put into it, and there was a lot of effort put into this. This is not a short-term thing. This is a long-term thing. Saitama spent all day attacking the Terra tribe, and Saitama is still trading way under 1,200. It's not financial advice, but I'm always right.
I can't wait till Friday. Everybody's getting sideways.
All right, guys, as you can see here, yesterday there was a giant sell-off, dropping the price from 1147 all the way down to almost adding another zero again. Now, there's support at these lower levels, so a lot of people are fighting diligently to make sure that that zero is kept, just for at least mental purposes, but it's become a struggle. So once one product started to move, and that was that was Terra yesterday, and there was a reason that we'll get to in the Terra video. But once that started to move, then everybody jumped out of Saitama. They moved over into Terra for a little while to ride that chart up for a bit. Then there was massive sell-off on Terra because whatever they had been talking about started to have cracks in the pavement, so to speak, which led to a buyback. But as you can see here from this, and we can check here on this chart, here is where we were trading right before that, and then this is where we ended up accumulating after. So what you can say is, at this point, people got out in order to get into a different product, and then instead of getting back into Saitama, they just decided to go elsewhere. It wasn't worth getting back into Saitama, so more investors lost, but that's okay because there's dust in their wallet, and it still looks like they're a hodler, which is a little bit odd. That's a thing to celebrate, but that's what we do. And you know what? If it makes you feel better, you got more hodlers. So I don't know what to say about that. But this is, as you look across, this is the absolute lowest point, and the accumulation continues. There was a little bit of upside a couple of days ago. There was at least some movement back up where you thought like you could fight that 1,200 push, and it just didn't happen. And now we're at, what, 1,100, and now we're fighting the 1,100 line. It's just dropping every single time, and when investors get out, they just don't come back. So something's got to change. Moving on. Now, guys, you got to remember something here. The guy that lied to you for 5 months and told you that he had a working and functioning product that it turns out was not working or functioning in any way. And I'm not saying that there wasn't some hyperbole that maybe he was being told by somebody else, but I'm telling you that Russ came out, looked you in the eye in AMAs and in YouTube videos and everywhere he could, and he told you that this thing works. All the way back to September 19, he was telling you that Saitama worked. Then it launched finally on January 8, and guess what? It didn't work. Now, you can say, well, there was a bot attack. Yes, that's correct. It takes about 24 hours to fix a bot attack. But on January 9th, guess what? We still didn't have Saitama. We didn't have it on the 10th, the 11th, the 12th, the 13th, on and on. We didn't have a functioning Saitama. As of today, you can make trades in the amount of like $300 because they don't even have the liquidity in the product to make large trades. So all you can do is minor and little bitty trades. Now, does that sound functioning to you? That's not functioning. That's small potatoes. That's not. But anyway, so after 5 months of this, somehow, and no exchanges, by the way, no exchanges, this person became an expert on exchanges at the behest of the token that was having a moment where people thought that they may have been the victim of a scam. He comes through with his white cape and his white hat, and he says, well, you got to be careful. Well, he doesn't have an exchange, so how does he know? First. Second, he also didn't get rid of the people, okay, that told Faltron, okay, that Dr. Praveen was the wallet that was in Saitama that was selling off. Now, if you're in Saitama and you don't like that, or you think that Dr. Praveen owed you something, he's an investor just like you are. He doesn't owe you anything. You don't owe Saitama anything. It's very nice if you're invested in a product and you feel faithful to it, but don't get married to a project. That's just nonsense. That's what a cult becomes. That's how you become a cult. Saitama has the potential to be a great product, but it's not a great product right now. Right now, it's an 1100 trading project, but it still has a $583 million market cap. It's steadily declining. It continues to decline, and it's not finding the level of support that you want it to have. And all I have to do is swap back over here, let you guys have an honest look. You've never been lower. This has never been this low, and it continues to sink, and it continues to create new floors because it has not found its bottom yet. And you know what? At this point, the bottom of this is probably under 1,000. It's probably going to gain that zero back. It can't move on until it shakes out the people. And here we are doing this thing right now. But guess what? It doesn't do anybody any service to become a bunch of toxic crybabies that are crying about somebody else's product. This is what clown shoe organizations do. And Saitama, at least in my opinion, should be better than that. They should be focused on themselves. They should be focused on making sure that the people who expect Saitama to actually function is actually functioning. They should be focused on what they're doing and explaining to their people why 8 months, 9 months into this project now, there's no liquidity lock still, and it's going to unlock in May, and there's no exchanges because nobody wants to do business with, you know what? You can look up the public record and you can figure out why nobody's listing Saitama. It's not hard to find. But building it inside this ecosystem is a possibility, and it might continue. It's just not life-changing money anymore. If you have your money in it, your money's wasting away. It's going to take a long time for it to build back up because every bit of trust has been violated. Don't you forget that. The one thing I don't do is I don't lie to you. It's not financial advice. Take your profits on the way up. Don't invest more than you can afford to lose. And I'm Bleeves, and I'm always right.
I'm looking for the good life, good life. Sitting on top of the world. I wanna be shining like diamonds and pearls. I want you to go.